So hello everyone, today is the revision session for our last topic, which is topic 5, and topic 5 is about cost analysis for management decision. In this topic, we're going to learn about whenever a company going to make a decision related to the different thing. So which factors company or management need to think in order to make the right decision and appropriate decision. So in this topic, we're going to cover around 7 learning outcomes. In those 7 learning outcomes, learning outcome 2 is not part of your syllabus. So I give quick glance on each and every learning outcomes, and then we will go more in detail. So the first learning outcome is about profit estimation using 2 different approaches, which is marginal costing and the absorption costing. So if company using the marginal costing, how does company estimate the profit? Vice versa, if company is applying absorption costing, which is mainly used for the external users, or whenever company prepares financial statement, then company applies the absorption costing. And second learning outcome that we're not going to study, so I'm not going to talk about learning outcome 2. So learning outcome 3 is about the segment profitability. So whenever company going to estimate the profit or the profitabilities of particular segment, which factors company keep in mind, which kind of cost company ignore, company avoid, and which kinds of cost company does not avoid, that we can be controlled. Okay. So learning outcome 3. Now move on to that's all about learning outcome 3, which is segment profitability. Learning outcome 4 is about the cost volume profit analysis. In the cost volume profit analysis, we're going to talk about the breakeven units, breakeven in dollars, and of course, we're going to represent breakeven using the graph. So graphical representation of breakeven units and the dollar. Then we move on to the learning outcome 5. So learning outcome 5 is about the margin of safety. How does company estimate the margin of safety? What does it mean, and why company has to estimate margin of safety? Learning outcome 6 is about tax estimation or tax computation, or the impact on tax over break-even computations. So how does we deal or we exclude the tax from our net profit after tax in order to estimate the target profit before tax. So that is your learning outcome 6. And the last learning outcome is decision making. Right? So whenever a company going to make a decision, what factors company need to keep in mind. So in this learning outcome 7, we're going to talk about only 2 decision making. The first one is a one-time special order. Some company should accept one-time special order. A company should not accept one-time. And second one is insourcing versus outsourcing. We also call it accept or reject. Right? Buy or made decision. So now we start with the learning outcome 1. Right. So learning outcome 1 is about, as I said, there is about tax computation using 2 different methods. Right? 2 different methods that company going to apply to estimate the profit. So here we have methods included 2. The first one is absorption costing. You know that. Absorption costing is very common method that most of companies they apply in order to estimate the profit. And this method we also use it to prepare our income statement. Right? And the second one is a marginal costing. Absorption costing and marginal costing. Right? So absorption costing. As I said that this method is quite common and you're quite familiar with this method. In our second lecture, we study about this topic. All right. So I quickly give you ideas about absorption costing. So here is a sales minus cost of goods sold is the gross profit, right? Minus operating cost is net profit, right? So here the idea is manufacturing cost will be used to estimate product profitability. In this cost of goods sold, we have a fixed cost, fixed manufacturing, and variable manufacturing. Right? Fixed and variable manufacturing. In this operating cost, we of course have a fixed non-manufacturing and variable non-manufacturing. Alright? So, how to estimate cost of goods sold? You know that. We have a opening finished goods, opening inventory of finished goods or opening stock, alright, plus produced during the year, production during the year, alright, minus closing stock of finished goods. So that is your cost of goods sold. Keep in mind, we have to remove closing stock when we are estimating cost of goods sold. Why? Because as per the matching concept that you study in your financial accounting, that cost should be matched with its revenues. Right? Something that we haven't solid cannot be used to estimate the profit of the company. Alright, so closing stock still inside the company, that is our inventory, closing inventory, current assets, part of the balance sheet, still it's appear in the financial statement of the company. So we cannot use it to estimate the profit of the company. So we have to eliminate it. Alright, so we have to take it out from our cost of goods sold calculations. Right? So then we got gross profit. Gross profit means product profitability. Product is profitable to produce. So after gross profit, we have operating cost, non-manufacturing costs such as marketing, advertising, selling, transportation, distribution, and so on. Right? So then we have a net profit. So this structure is basically absorption costing, and I hope you remember that same structure or format we use it to estimate or prepare the income statement according to accounting standard, no matter it's international accounting standard or no matter it's a GAAP. Right? So second method is a marginal costing. Marginal costing is quite different. Second name of marginal costing, we also call it variable costing system. It means only variable cost will be used to estimate the product profitability. Why? Because variable cost is their cost, the company can control it. Fixed cost is their cost, company cannot be controlled, which cannot be controlled by the company. Alright? So that's why if fixed cost cannot be controlled by the company, we should not use it to estimate the profit of the product. Alright? So we're gonna remove the fixed cost. Alright? So some people argue that the fixed cost is that cost that does not directly contribute to maximize the production, maximize the output, or maximize the revenues, or any kind of fixed cost, because which is indirectly related to the product. Alright? Now, so how to estimate the profit using marginal costing? So we have a sales minus variable manufacturing cost, such as direct material, direct labor, and direct expense related to the production, minus variable non-manufacturing cost. Alright, variable non-manufacturing cost is marketing and advertising. Then we got contribution margin. contribution margin. Alright, so only variable costs contribute in order to estimate the product profitability. Then minus fixed manufacturing cost minus fixed non-manufacturing cost. So here we got it, net profit. Alright. So the idea is this is a total variable cost. Alright. And this is total fixed cost. Alright. So sales minus total variable cost is contribution margin. So keep in your mind, sales minus variable cost is contribution margin. Is contribution margin minus fixed cost is the profit. Alright, so same thing is going on here too. Alright, so here is the fixed cost. We will give which after subtracting the fixed cost from contribution margin, we're gonna get it net profit of the company. So here you can see the difference between marginal costing and the absorption costing. Alright. So some companies apply marginal costing to estimate the profit, and some companies apply absorption costing to estimate the profit. But keep in your mind, when company prepares financial statement, company does not apply marginal costing to prepare or to calculate its profit, which we're gonna explain to the external users, or that we're gonna include it in our financial statement. We never ever use marginal costing. We always apply absorption costing to estimate the profit of the company. Alright, to prepare the financial statement. So here, so the thing is that marginal costing for decision making purpose in terms of absorption costing to present financial statement. Right. So that's all about your learning outcome 1. Right. So you can have a look at your exercises given in your lecture slides, so you can practice those exercises. And of course, extra that I send it to you through through your e-learning account. So that's all about your learning outcome 1. Now move on to the learning outcome 2. Learning outcome 3, because 2 is not part of your syllabus. So I won't go learning outcome learning outcome 3 in very detail, because there is no any topic that will be covered in your exam. But from a knowledge point of view, I will give quick glance on your learning outcome 3. So learning outcome 3 is about the segment profitability. How does company prepare the profitabilities of particular segment or particular branch or particular units of the factory that is established in another place, right? So the idea is that same thing as per the marginal costing concept. The same idea is that whenever a company is estimating the profit of its segment, company always try to ignore the fixed cost, because fixed cost is that cost which is not maximizing any kinds of output of the company. So and of course, fixed cost is also that cost that we cannot control. It's uncontrollable cost. Alright? It's an unavoidable cost. We can't avoid it. Right? It occurs all the time, such as your depreciation, your insurance, which is completely unavoidable cost. We can't avoid our depreciation, no matter we use that machine to produce or we don't use that machine. So depreciation always depreciate the value of the assets or machine. And the third thing is fixed cost is that cost which is irrelevant for decision making. which is not involved in any such kind of decision, because we can't reduce it. So we shouldn't spend time to think that how we can minimize the fixed cost. No, we shouldn't do that. All right. And variable cost, of course, which is important for decision making. Why? Because we can control it, such as direct material or direct labor. All right. By selecting the various suppliers, we can minimize the material cost. Right? And same thing with the laborers. Right. So by hiring the multitasking people or the skilled people, of course, we can estimate the different labor costs at the different level of the production. So we can reduce our variable cost or labor cost as well. So variable cost is important for decision making. Same thing, company going to do it with these different segments, like as the insurance. Right? Insurance for the all segments of the company will be similar, same insurance. Right? But the manufacturing and the labor cost for the different segment will be different as per the units or the product we are producing in that particular segment. Right? So that's all about the learning outcome 3. Alright, so which is we have to separate our cost into fixed and the variable. So by separating fixed and variable, so we can easily make decision that how we can maximize the profitabilities of the company by minimizing variable cost and ignoring the fixed cost. Alright, means we're not going to think about fixed cost. So by doing these activities, company can maximize the profitabilities of its particular segment. Alright? Okay. So keeping in mind this segment profitabilities, we're going to repeat again in our learning outcome 7, which is about basically a different decision making that company needs to make. So same thing we're going to repeat again in our learning outcome 7. So now we move on to the learning outcome 4. Right. Okay. So learning outcome 4 is about cost, volume, profit analysis. Cost, volume, profit analysis. Now what does it mean, cost, volume, profit analysis? Cost, volume, profit analysis means what will be the impact of volume or quantity over its profit, revenue, and its cost. Means if we will change our quantity of units, alright, no matter in terms of sales units or in terms of production units, if we will change our quantity, how does it affect or impact over profit, revenue, and cost? That is cost, volume, profit analysis. So one of the most important tools of the cost, volume, profit analysis is the break-even analysis. Alright? So break-even points or break-even analysis. So that's basically a tool to estimate the same relation between quantity, volume, and the cost, revenue, and profit. Alright, so we're gonna talk about break-even in detail. So before we talking about the break-even different things, so we have to understand first the meaning of the break-even. Break-even means contribution margin is equals to fixed cost. I repeat again. Contribution margin equals to fixed cost. It's called break-even points. Alright? Or we can say that sales equals to total cost. Break-even points. Alright? In simple language, we can say that no profit and no loss. Alright? So we're not going to suffer any profit. Of course, we're not going to suffer any loss as well. So that's the meaning of break-even. Alright? So here, break-even, we have a two different formulas of break-even. So first one is break-even in units and break-even in dollars. Break-even in units and break-even in dollars. Now what does it mean break-even in units? Break-even in units means how many units we have to sell in order to have break-even. Alright? And break-even in dollar means how much revenue we have to generate it in order to have break-even. So break-even units will give us the sales volume. Alright? And break-even in dollars will give us the revenues in terms of money, dollars. Alright? So first of all, the formula of break-even in units. Alright? So the formula for break-even in units is a total fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. We also call it unit contribution margin. Contribution margin per unit. So whatever number we got it, that is our sales units. Means if you will sell these units, you're not going to suffer any loss. But of course, you're not going to make any profit as well. So no profit, no loss. Right? Second one is a break-even in dollars. So the formula for break-even in dollar is a total fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio. Okay. So total fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio. So how to calculate contribution margin ratio? So the formula is for contribution margin ratio. So the formula is a contribution margin divided by sales. All right. That is your contribution margin ratio. All right. So by applying this formula, you will get a dollar value. All right. So that dollar value means revenue that we are generating in order to have a break-even. Right. So that's about units and the dollars. So you can have a look some numerical examples which is given in your next slides. All right. Now another part of the break-even is a graphical representation of break-even points. Means with the help of graph, we will identify the break-even points. Right? So if you go beyond that point, probably you're gonna suffer a profit, or you're gonna have a profit or loss. Right? So here we can have a look. The graphical representation of break-even. So here is the quantity on the x-axis, y is the dollar. Here is the dollar price. Okay. So this graph, this one is about sales. Alright. This line for sales. And here is a total cost. Alright, remember total cost? That is your, from this point, that is your fixed cost. Alright, and that is your variable, fixed plus variable. Alright, so here, point is the break-even point, alright? Because at this point, your sales is equals to total cost, alright? And this point is dollar. So the idea is that here, that point is your unit, right? And this point is your dollar, all right? So if you are looking for sales in dollars, then these points will tell you that if you generate that revenue, you're gonna have no profit, no loss. And if you look at vertically, so that point is your units. If you sell those units, you're not going to suffer any kinds of, you're not going to bear any loss or any profit. All right. So, but remember, this point is your profit. All right, and these areas for your loss. All right. So here is your profit and loss. And if you go beyond this point, of course, here you're gonna, if you sell units more than these units, you're gonna have profit. If less, you will be a loss. That's all about your graphical representation of break-even point. Right? So now we move on to the next learning outcome, which is margin of safety. Now, what does it mean, margin of safety? Margin of safety is that point if your sales drop from that point, you're gonna suffer a loss. Alright? I repeat again. Sales go beyond that point, it's called, that point called margin of safety. So you can see the name margin of safety. So means you are safe at that point. Alright? So if you go below, then you're going to suffer a loss. So that's called the margin of safety. So your learning outcome 5, margin of safety. Alright? So how to calculate margin of safety? So the formula for margin of safety is a sales or budgeted sales. Budgeted sales minus break-even sales. You know that. How to calculate break-even sales? Learning outcome 4, which is covered in learning outcome 4. Alright? So it depends. If you want to calculate margin of safety in dollars, then you will use budgeted sales in dollars and break-even sales in dollars. Alright? If you want to calculate margin of safety in units, then you can budgeted sales in units and budgeted sales, break-even sales in units as well. So it will give you the margin of safety. Alright? So better you have a look at the examples, numerical examples that I gave you in the class, and of course given in your lecture slides. So make sure that examples will help you to understand margin of safety in detail. Alright? Now we move on to the next learning outcome, which is learning outcome 6. Learning outcome 6 is basically the impact of tax on break-even computations. Right? Learning outcome 6. So before we talk about the tax impact on break-even computations, here I want to explain you about the target profit first. Alright. Target profit. Now what does it mean, target profit? Target profit is the profit that company wants to achieve, the company target, to earn that money as profit. Alright, of course, it's a profit, right? So, if you want to calculate a target profit, so what is the formula? So the formula is a total fixed cost plus target profit, alright, and PD stands for target profit, divided by contribution margin ratio or contribution margin per unit. Right? So whatever number you got it, that number means if you're gonna sell those units or if you're gonna generate that revenue, then you will achieve a target profit. Alright? I repeat again. This formula, with the help of this formula, we're gonna get some value here. Alright? Maybe we're gonna get this value probably in units or in dollars. Alright? So we're gonna get this number in dollars and in euros. It means if you're gonna sell those units, you're gonna achieve a target profit. Means you're gonna earn that profit. Or if you earn that revenue, then you will make that profit. Alright? So it depends. If you want your answers comes in dollar, then of course you use contribution margin, same like as your learning outcome 4. And if you want your answer comes in units, then you will divide by contribution margin per unit. Alright? So that's all about the target profit. Alright? But here the thing is, when we talk about the target net profit means this net profit after tax. Alright? Net profit, net income, when we talk about net profit means net profit after tax. So it means, what does it mean? It means if you wanna earn that profit after tax, you have to sell those units to have a net profit after tax. So means you will have to sell those units to cover your tax as well. And that sound doesn't make any sense. Why? Because tax is every year, tax is not the fix. Alright, the tax rate is the fix if government doesn't change, doesn't make any changes within a year. Tax rate is fixed. But of course, tax payable not going to be same. It depends upon the company profitability. So if taxes depends upon the company profitabilities, then when we are estimating this number, we have to exclude tax, right? If we're not going to exclude the tax, so it means whatever sales volume we're going to sell, or we have to sell this sales volume to cover our tax in the profit, and then we can't do that, all right? Because if we are maximizing our sales or sales quantity, then our profit will be increased, net profit before, and of course we have to pay more tax. So it doesn't make any sense that we have to generate more sales to cover the tax. That doesn't make any sense. But if you say that we have to generate more sales to cover our fixed interest rate or interest that we have to pay to bank, that makes sense. Because interest rate not going to be changed, the interest we have to pay to the bank. Whatever contract we sign with the bank, we're going to use the same interest rate to pay that money back to the bank. Right? But it doesn't really happen with the government because we're not going to sign a contract with the governments to apply the same tax rate or same tax amount every year. Alright? So that's why it's not quite relevant or quite logically to apply the profit after tax. So the idea is that whatever profit is given here, we have to convert this profit into before profit. Means we have to convert after into before. Alright? So we have to fix this formula here. Alright? So if you want to convert profit after into before, so the formula is a profit divided by 1 minus tax rate. Alright? profit divided by 1 minus tax rate. So I'm going to fix this one here. So profit divided by 1 minus, so target profit or profit, so better I use the word target profit because it's a target profit that we want to achieve it. So target profit before tax, alright, 1 minus tax rate. So then whatever value we gonna get in here, that value will say that if you will sell this quantity, then we're gonna have a profit before tax. And then of course whatever profit we have will be applied the tax rate, and then we will estimate the net profit after tax. Alright? So that's the ideas behind learning outcome 6. So this is the formula, make sure you apply this formula. Alright? So that's all about learning outcome 6. Now we move on to the last learning outcome, which is different decision making, all right, or kind of special decision that company have to make in the organization. All right. So here we're going to talk about 2 kinds of special decision company needs to make. So the first one is a one-time special order, right? One-time special order. So let me take some examples. Okay. So, one-time special order. One-time special order means, for example, your company produce a marker, right? So that is your main product or regular product, right, that you sell to your regular customers, right? So one day, one customer comes to you, and that customer said that, can you order a pen instead of a marker for me, right? Then I have to think that should I produce this a special request of that customer or not? And keep in your mind, that is your special order, because this product is not your common product, regular product. Marker is your regular product, so you know all kinds of fixed, all kinds of costs related to the markers. But this one, you have to estimate the cost of this product, right? And on the behalf of cost, you determine the price in order to estimate the profit. If this product is profitable, then you will make it and you sell it. If this product is not profitable, then you're not going to do that. So the idea is that if this profit overall maximize the profit of the company, you will accept this order, one-time special, and then you will produce and you sell to the customer. And of course, before you make this order, you estimate the cost, right? Then you determine the price, and this price you have to offer to the customers. The customer, we gonna charge this price from you in order to produce this product, because this product has a special skill, special material required to produce this product. So probably the cost of this product may be different from this my regular product. So cost not gonna be the same. So in that case, maybe customer will accept or reject, it depends. If the customer will accept and I'm making a profit, then I will accept to produce this product. Alright? If I offer the particular price to the customer, let's say $7, the price I offer, and $5 is my cost, I want to make $2. And if customer says that no, $7 is too high for me and try to keep it 5 or below 5. If customer is willing to pay only $4 for this one-time special order, then I'm going to suffer a $1 loss. So I will not be agreed to this to produce this product. Why? Of course, is overall it's reducing my profitabilities of the company. Right? So that's all about the one-time special order. So I said that when we will estimate the cost of this product, right, we have to keep in mind the different factors. So mainly here the thing that we have to keep in our mind is fixed cost and variable cost. I repeat, when you are making a decision of one-time special order, we have to find out the fixed cost and variable cost of this particular product. Fixed cost and variable cost. And as I told you before in our learning outcome 3, that variable cost is that cost which is relevant for decision making. Alright? Which is relevant for decision making. Variable cost is that cost which is controllable. Alright? Or we can say that variable cost is that cost which is avoidable. Alright? So the idea is that variable cost is important for decision making. Fixed cost is not important for decision making. Why? Let's say factory rent. This is your regular product that you produce. Alright? This is your one-time special order. So you accept one-time special order or you do not accept one-time special order. So it will not give any impact over the rent of the company. Alright? You produce or you don't produce. Still you have to pay rent to the factory in order to produce your regular product. So one-time special order is not associated, it doesn't give any impact over the fixed cost. Alright? So that's why fixed cost is irrelevant for decision making. Alright? Or fixed cost is uncontrollable cost. Alright? I produce or I do not produce, I cannot reduce my factory rent by making decision produce or not produce. Alright? So that's why it's uncontrollable. It's unavoidable. I cannot escape from the fixed cost. Alright? I cannot minimize it. So I cannot avoid it. I cannot reduce it. So that's why fixed cost is an unavoidable cost. So the idea is that whenever making a one-time special order, then we have to keep in mind variable cost and the fixed cost. And we will focus more on the variable cost instead of fixed cost. So that's the idea. If any kinds of order which increment your profit, of course, this order going to increment your revenue, right? And increment cost as well, alright? But if your profit increment, then we will accept this order to produce. Right? So that's all about the one-time special order. Next one is insourcing versus outsourcing. Alright? Insourcing versus outsourcing. What does it mean, insourcing versus outsourcing? We can call it make or buy decision. Sometimes we call it make or buy decision. Make or buy decision. Make or buy decision. Now, what does it mean, make or buy decision, or insourcing versus outsourcing? Like, as for example, I'll use the same example of this marker. this marker is my product. I produce this marker. So you know that the main raw material of this marker is a plastic. Alright, so I have to buy plastic from supplier, alright, in order to produce this marker. So when I buy this raw material from supplier or from outside, that's called outsourcing. I'm taking services from the outside of the company, alright, to complete my product, alright. Insourcing means you will make raw material inside the company, right? After making the raw material, you use this raw material to produce the product. That's called insourcing. So make. So means you make your services which are required to complete your product, you generate or you make their services and you use their services to finish your product. That's called insourcing. Insourcing versus outsourcing. So now this completely depends upon the company. Company prefer insourcing or outsourcing. It depends. Right? If insourcing is a cheap for the company, then company will choose it. Outsourcing cheap, the company will choose outsourcing. So but keep in your mind, if company will choose insourcing, then company has to bear some kinds of cost, such as direct material or direct labor. I'm talking about manufacturing company, right? Direct material, direct labor, and direct cost. So you have to bear those kinds of cost if you choose insourcing. Alright? If you choose outsourcing, in outsourcing, you're gonna save your direct material, you're gonna save direct labor, and of course, you're gonna save direct cost as well. But supplier will charge a price from you, so of course you have to pay for the supply to the supplier. So it depends. Maybe the price supplier is charging is cheaper than the cost of direct material, labor, and overheads. Or the price supplier is charging from you is quite expensive. So better you decide to produce that raw material or that required to complete your product inside the factory, inside your company, and then you will use this to complete or finish your product. So it's the same thing. It depends upon the company, which one is more profitable for the company, which one will reduce your cost or maximize your profit. Alright, so if insourcing is the cheap, then company choose it. If outsourcing is the cheap, then company choose outsourcing. So it completely depends upon company insourcing versus outsourcing. Right? So that's all about your learning outcome setting. Alright? So before we stop this topic, because this is the last topic of this course, so I want to give a quick glance on your final exam. Alright? So I repeat again, like as I repeated in the class, that in your final exam, you're going to have topic 2, which is accounting for material. In this topic 2, I will ask only question related to LIFO, FIFO, and moving average method. Only calculation, no theory related to LIFO, FIFO, and moving average. So you have to practice questions, LIFO, FIFO, and moving average, right? Second one is your topic after your midterm test. So after midterm test, we cover 2 topics, topic 4 and topic 5. Topic 4 is accounting for overheads, and topic 5 is a cost analysis for management decision. So in topic 4, which is accounting for overheads, in these topics, all the calculations, whatever the topics we cover, such as activity-based costing, traditional costing, right? Such as allocates service overhead or service cost to the operating department using a 3 different method, direct method, or second one was reciprocal or algebraic method, and third one is step-down method. So we talk about all these three methods. So whatever we cover in that overheads, including theory and practical, so I guess fixed costs and variable costs and all that. And of course, topic 5, which is learning outcome 1, learning outcome 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that is your topic 5. So that's all about your topic 5. Alright. So I almost finished your midterm grades. So hopefully I will upload it by the end of this week. Alright. And if you have any question, please drop me a message on e-learning, and I will get back to you in 24 hours. And then if you want to see me in person, then you can come to my office. Alright. So that's all about today's lecture. So good luck for your final exam. Alright. And hope to see you around. Thank you.